Day 4, passport processing. You arrive at the airport only to realize that you grabbed your North Pole credentials instead of your passport. While these documents are extremely similar, North Pole credentials aren't issued by a country, and therefore aren't actually valid documentation for travel in most of the world. It seems like you're not the only one having problems, though. A very long line has formed for the automatic passport scanners, and the delay could upset your travel itinerary. Due to some questionable network security, you realize you might be able to solve both of these problems at the same time. The automatic passport scanners are slow because they're having trouble detecting which passports have all required fields. The expected fields are as follows: BYR, birth year; IYR, issue year; UIR, expiration year; HGT, height; HCL, hair color; ECL, eye color; PID, passport ID; CID, country ID. Passport data is validated in batch files, your puzzle input. Each passport is represented as a sequence of key value pairs separated by spaces or new lines. Passports are separated by blank lines. So this is interesting. Before, it's all been on one line, but now we've actually got to parse this a little differently if we want to get a passport. Here is an example batch file containing 4 passports. I'm taking a look at this and a couple of things jump out at me. While most of these seem like they're kind of separated into a section with passport data and then another section with passport data, this one down here just straight up has like, oh, here is like one key on a line. So we could have multiple lines here that we're dealing with. I'm also kind of thinking, I think maybe 3 new lines could be a way to split it, because you'd have a new line here, and then a new line here. No, 2 new lines, because you have a new line here and a new line here. Yeah, like I could separate this by 2 new lines, and then everything that's not separated by 2 new lines is 1 passport. The first passport is valid. All 8 fields are present. The second passport is invalid. It is missing the HGT height field. The third passport is interesting. The only missing field is CID, so it looks like data from the North Pole credentials, not a passport at all. Surely nobody would mind if you made the system temporarily ignore missing CID fields. Treat this passport as valid. The fourth passport is missing 2 fields, CID and BYR. Missing CID is fine, but missing any other field is not, so this passport is invalid. According to the above rules, your improved system would report 2 valid passports. Count the number of valid passports, those that have all required fields. Treat CID as optional. In your batch file, how many passports are valid? Ooh, this is exciting. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this input. By now you should know that what I like to do is I've got my files set up in advance, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here to process, and my input is going to be this text blob. I'm thinking I'll handle separating these out into, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll handle separating these out into strings. Let's see, I think it's Alt. Yeah. Inside of my run command. So all of these are just gonna be 1 string. And I'll leave the new lines in there. I think I can do that. I'll just take these out. Okay, does that look reasonable? I haven't made it an array yet. So yeah, we're gonna make this an array of passports. So I'm going to make my run method responsible for turning this into an array of passports, and when it comes to input, it's just gonna be the whole thing in text. For part 1, we would expect this to give us an answer of 2 valid passports. So our goal is to take this and make that happen. All right, let's see. And right now it fails, correct? Yes, I expected to, and nothing happened except it gave me input.first, so that should be broken. Okay, I've got process. I've got an input. So let's say at input.each do, well, can I do count? I can do count. And I can just return whether or not a passport is valid or invalid. Yeah, so we'll do at input.count passport. Also, this feels like another regex problem, which is very exciting to me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert these pairs into key value hashes using that regex and just using like white space to mean either new line or a space. And then what I can do is I should be able to take those, and once they're key value pairs, I'll check the keys of that hash, and I'll make sure that it has all the values it needs. All right, input.count do passport, and we'll just say valid passport, and we'll pass in our passport. Now, of course, we need a def valid passport method that accepts a single passport. And we'll start this off with the most basic version. We're just gonna return true. Now what I can do is I can come down here and I can create a new describe. And I can spell it correctly. And what we'll do is we'll say describe valid passport. Do, and nope, that's not where you belong there. Come down here and we'll just do a subject. My input here actually isn't important, but I'll do scribe heart process. I'm just gonna steal this, remove this. This is going to be valid passport, question mark. We're gonna pass in a passport here. Let's see, this input, I'm just gonna make this like an array with nothing in it, because that input isn't actually going to be used. It's only going to be using this value. All right, so now what do? I say it, well, let's give it a context. Context, when part one, do, and a lot of this is feeling very boilerplate, but that's fine. We're moving through it quickly. Let part, that's gonna be 1. Then in here we have another context, and that's example 1, do, end. And what we do here is we'd let passport, and this is where we go swipe this. This is my passport 1. Yes, and I'll put the quotes back in. So this one, it is expected to be true. To be truthy. Beautiful. Okay, save it, run it. Fails. Valid passport doesn't exist. Rude. It's right here. Oh, I didn't add a question mark. No! Question mark. There we go. Run. Undefined method, valid passport. This sure looks like a valid method. Valid passport. That's not important, but I'll do that there. Did I misspell it somewhere? No? This is odd. Oh, I'm running this against day 0. There we go, we caught something early. So this was with my setup. Yeah, I think I wanna, I've been playing around with how I can like set this up in an automated way. And I'm getting really close. Like, as soon as I create a day 4, a day 4.rb, and a day 4 spec, I'm doing pretty good. Okay, so this is expected to be truthy, and it is truthy. Now, let's go for example 2. And that's gonna be North Pole passport. Lovely. If I come up here and I swipe this. Wait, is this one an invalid passport, or is that the North Pole passport? The second is invalid because it's missing height. Gotcha. I'll just throw in another context block. At this point, I'm pretty much done. Let passport, curly braces, quotes, Control V. Ah, this time I actually remembered to put the quotes. All right, we'll put some spaces around this. Enter. It doesn't like this context, So I'll say invalid passport missing height. Beautiful, and it is expected to be falsy. There we go. All right, now if I run this one, it fails because I set this to true. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna say passport dot, also did I put is expected to be truthy? I did. What I didn't do is I didn't copy my North Pole passport. So this is my North Pole passport. And my last one is invalid, correct? Yes. So I think what I can do is I can just copy this North Pole invalid passport. So if I pop back over here, I can copy this. No, easy. There we go. And I can paste this into here and save it. Let's see, failed to find an RSpec suite. So there's something wrong with how I've set this up. Somebody is not happy. This is a context end. Check. Context end. Check. Check. The nice thing about building your tests as you go is that A, you don't have to build them at the end. And let's view the error message. Require solutions day 4. Unexpected end of syntax. Unexpected end. Context do end. Context do end. That looks right. All of these have do ends, do ends, do ends, do ends. Do and all the way down here end. Do and all the way down here end. Let's see. These close is expected to be truthy. Is expected to be falsy. These close. These close is expected to be truthy. These close. These close. These close. Oh, is it over here? Oh, it's over here! Okay. Now I feel silly. Now I feel silly. I'm gonna do match. And this is where I'm gonna pop my regex to break these apart into pairs. I think what I'm looking for is key. And what was it, a question mark at the beginning of a capture group? Yeah. And that's gonna be a slash word characters plus. Then we have a colon, parentheses, same thing, but it's gonna be value. It's words, right? And then slash S means white space. Yeah, and that should get me all of my pairs. I'm gonna go ahead and require pride because I know I'm gonna want it. And we'll call this matches. And this basically, I'm just gonna turn it into a hash. I bet there's a nicer way to do this, but I don't know what it is yet. Solutions. Yeah, enable auto run. I don't know why it randomly turns off auto run, but it does. Let's see. If I run this? Yeah. Yeah! That's right. Why isn't it showing me my specs though? Oh well, when it works, it's nice. I'm gonna try running this in RSpec. I'm gonna copy my relative path. Here we go. RSpec. What do you say? Okay, so it gave me match data for all of these. All of them turned out valid. This is incorrect at the top. I'm gonna go ahead and change this from a hello to a 0 because I know I'm expecting a number back. Not bad, not bad. All right. Now I should have a set of pairs here. This looks right. I don't want a capture group here though. I just want you to know that that's a /s. So what happens if I run this? Match data. Here is the total match. Here is the key. And here is... Oh, I've called these both key. Let me call this one value. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Okay, I like this. I can see my total result, my key, and my value. Is this an array? Let me do matches dot keys. Undefined method keys for match data. This looks like 1. Let's look at Ruby matches regex. Jump to match. Jump to match. Returns a match data object describing the match or nil if there was no match. This is equivalent to retrieving the value of the special character. Let's see. Does it say anything about plural? Like what happens if I do matches? A literal string matches itself. Match haystack, matches. Let's see. Oh, okay. So if I do .match9f, it's gonna give me a match data of 9 because that's the first answer. Let's see. Matches, match, AEN. None of these show like examples of multiple matches. Atomic grouping. Like what if I want to match plurals? Match is a literal, alternation. Oh, I have a thought. Can I, well, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm going to array matches. What I was thinking is maybe I could do something like little curly braces and a 1 comma. Let's see, array matches, Ruby, regex. Filter array by regex. Array.include with a regex. Cool Ruby regex tricks. Yes! Splitting strings. Capturing delimiters. Abusing split. Okay, I like abusing split. Global matching. Scanning with groups. I like scanning with groups. Oh, what? What? Groups result in a multi-dimensional array. I like that. I like that. That could work for me. Scan. Let's try it. No. I keep trying to tab to my like VS Code and it's right here. All right, let's do scan. Let's see. What did I get? Undefined method keys for array. That makes sense. What if we pluck, or no, map. Let's do map. And what we'll do is we'll just say, hey, get the first item of every array and then return that to me. What'd I get? What'd I get? What'd I get? Wrong number of arguments. Wrong number of arguments? Oh, I need my little ampersand. Ampersand. First. What'd you give me? Ooh, expected falsy value got IYR, ECL, CID, EYR, PID. Okay, so now we've got an array of keys. This is perfect. At the top here, I'm just gonna say valid keys, because it didn't say anything about extra keys or anything like that. So I'm gonna hop right up here, copy these, right over here, paste these, I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a modulo W. I'm going to create an array of words. I might be able to do, I'm just gonna get rid of all of these. Uh-huh. 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 And this should now be an array of words. Let's see. This is gonna be easier for me to do on a one line because, or line by line, because some of them I put spaces at the end and some of them I didn't. Okay, so that's valid keys. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say matches map first. Let's see, am I looking for missing keys? I think I'm looking for missing keys. I want to look at array. Don't give me this, give me array. Yeah, give me array. So I've got an array. I want like all matches pattern. I want like any that are missing. Like what is missing? I'm sure I've got something here. Reject. Returns a new array containing the items in cell for which the given block is not true. This would work. This'll work, because what I can do is I can just say valid keys dot reject, and then I have my do, my key, and then I'd say, hold on, I should assign this to a value. Let's see. Passport keys. This. So we'd say passport keys dot include key. So that'd be true. And if it's true, we do not reject. Yeah, returns a new array containing the items in cell for which the given block is not true. The ordering of non-rejected items is maintained. That feels right. Valid keys.reject do key, passport keys.include key. Undefined method include for this. Was it include question mark? It's always include question mark. Hey! Expected falsy value got BYR HTT ACL. Nice! Why did these pass? I have CID in here. These should not be valid. Like, this should not be valid. This is missing. Expected falsy value got this. Okay, passport keys dot include key. And I reject anything from valid keys that doesn't include that. This creates a new array. It's non-destructive. And you know what? I'll freeze this just to ensure that's what's happening. And we'll do missing keys. Missing keys equals valid keys dot reject anything that includes those keys. I feel like there's got to be a better way to do this, like an intersection. Yeah, here's an intersection. Returns a new array containing unique elements common to self and other arrays. Order is preserved. I want things that aren't, like the opposite. Can I subtract an array? Minus. I'm pretty sure I can subtract an array. Returns a new array that is a copy of the original array, removing all occurrences of any item that appears in other array. Yeah, I think that's a closer map to what I'm trying to do. So if I go here, I would say missing keys equaled valid keys minus passport keys. There we go. That's going to be faster too, I think. And I still got these. I'm confused about why this one is not having issues, but we can binding.pry and step right into that one. All right, so missing keys dot empty. This is going to return true if missing keys is empty, and it's going to return false otherwise. Okay. Expected truthy value got false. North Pole invalid password. This is supposed to be falsy. And if I save this, that one's expecting truthy and got false. And if I remove CID, ooh, got false. Now I can drop in my binding.pry. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy relative path and call this from my terminal so that I can access my binding.pry. All right, what is in missing keys? HGL and what? Oh, I'm running the whole spec. Yeah, I'm running the whole spec. Missing keys. Which one am I on? I'm looking at valid passport. Doesn't tell me which one. Missing keys. Why do all of these have missing keys? That's weird, right? Oh, I'm running a lot more than I think, aren't I? How am I? Okay, you know what? Let's do a nice little exit. Here we go. Okay, so multiple ones of these are failing. When part 1, example 1 is expected to be truthy, expected to be truthy. So I think what's happening, if I go into 33, I just want to run 33. If I look at missing keys, what does it say? It says HGL and HC1. Also, is this big enough? Oh no, I forgot to make my font bigger. My bad, sorry. I'll get the hang of this eventually. Hang on, so which one is this? 33? 33 is my passing one. You're supposed to have, wait. Oh no, 33, you're not supposed to run yet. Okay, hang on. Quit. We're not running 33. Exit. Exit. I said exit. Thank you. I'm actually trying to run a valid passport method, and the one I'm trying to run is North Pole passport, which should be 67. All right, what is missing keys for North Pole passport? It says height and HCL. Let me look at what is valid keys. There's height, there's HCL. What is passport? HCL, IYR, EYR, ECL, PID, HGT. This feels right. Hang on, is the problem that it's got like all these spaces in it? Maybe it is. Maybe like this is the problem. I could solve this with a simple white space plus. Yeah, one or more white spaces. Let's try that. Missing keys? Nope, still says they're missing. Passport keys. Interesting. Interesting. Passport. So I've got IYR, EYR, ECL. Why is this HCL missing? Is this not counting as white space? IYR, EYR. ECL is present, PID is present, BYR is present, HGT is present. What? What? Why is the first one missing? And why is the last one missing? This one doesn't have any following white space. Okay, so we make this one a star. But why would the first one fail? RSpec. Missing keys. Okay, so that fixed that one. But HCL. Passport. HCL is the first one. Ah, it's got this pound in it. Yep, it's got that pound in it, so that's why it's not matching. I can make this really easy. Yeah, I'll make that really easy. Okay, missing keys. None! Perfect, we did it. I just want to quit. Exit. There we go. I'm gonna remove my binding.pry. I'm gonna save this. Or no, not debug, run. I wanna see my results. I wanna run the whole file. Run? Run. Run? Nothing? Okay. How about we run the entire file? Beautiful, 6 examples, 0 failures. 6 examples, 0 failures. Does that mean this had 0 failures? Oh, this had 0 failures. It's expected to equal 2, and my run is running on 0. So I go over to my day 4. Not this one. I go down here to get my puzzle input. Control A, Control C. Drop in my puzzle input, save it. And then this immediately fails. It got 30. So I'll store that there. And are there 30 no, okay. I guessed 30. If you're stuck, make sure you're using the full input data. There are also some general tips on the About page, or you can ask for hints on the subreddit. So it doesn't tell me which direction I'm wrong either. So we've confirmed that all of these are passing, and we've also confirmed that that's valid by process. Oh, we're not splitting the file correctly yet. Yeah, because we're still splitting the file based on new line. Yep. That should be a thing that I test from now on. Yep. Okay, so I have an idea. If I look at solution, I'm using this file split /in. I think what I can do is I can just pass 2 of these in and it'll split correctly. But I don't know if it's going to call this /in correctly is the only problem. And that would be 2 new lines. So what I can do, I can binding.pry right here, run this from RSpec, and then I can say, what is my at input? And my at input is, does that match? I don't know what my day 4 looks like. Hold on. Day 4.txt. So it goes, let me go all the way up to the top. So my first one is HCL, CID, ECL, HGT, PID, and I'm guessing EYR. My second one should end with PID. Yep, and there's the new line. My third one goes BYR, EYR. Yeah, okay, so this looks a lot better. This looks a lot better. Also, there's no extra white space, you'll notice. Yeah. So we'll quit, we'll exit, we'll remove this binding.pry, and we'll run this again. Yay, so my new number is 216 valid passports, which makes a lot more sense. And explains why they told me check your input file. All right, so if I go into tier and I supply 216, yeah! Okay, now we have the right answer. Continue to part 2. The line is moving more quickly now, but you overhear airport security talking about how passports with invalid data are getting through. Better add some data validation, quick. You can continue to ignore the CID field, but each other field has strict rules about what values are valid for automatic validation. BYR birth year is 4 digits, at least 1920 and at most 2002. IYR issue year is 4 digits, at least 2010 and at most 2020. EYR expiration year, I'm gonna copy this whole thing. Your job is to count the passports where all the required fields are both present and valid according to the above rules. Here are some example values. Ooh. So this gets more complicated, and here are some invalid passports and here are some valid passports. That's exciting, that's exciting. So we're definitely gonna use this. Let's see, we'll hop over here. Right here where I've got valid passport, I'm just gonna add this as like a comment. Yep. That makes a beautiful comment. I like it a lot. And then over here in our test cases, we're gonna go to when part 2. There's process, valid passport, right here. Context, when part 2. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so in here, I'm gonna say context, valid passport 1, and we'll come in here and we'll do the same thing. There were 4 examples, correct? Here are some invalid passports, here are some valid passports. Yeah, so there's 4 of each, it looks like. Nope, over here. Yay! So I'll also paste this here, but this one I'm gonna end up stealing for each of these contexts. So we've got context valid passport 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll just come through here, 4, 3, 2, and we'll say let, what am I looking for here? Passport equal this. I should have copied this part too. It, curly braces, is expected dot to be truthy. Then I can copy the whole thing, drop it in here, drop it in here, drop it in here. And these are all of our valid passports. And then I just, excuse me. Then I just take this, drop it in here, this, and I drop it in here, and I take this, and drop it in here, and I take this, clear all of these out, and I place that in here. And now it's valid again. But it's failing! Yay! Undefined local variable or method part for RSpec. That's fine, because my let up here should be let part 2. Save it. All right, now I'm gonna clear this out of the way, move this over here, and we're gonna say if valid passport. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna step right in here, and I'm gonna say, ooh, we'll call this one missing keys. Yeah, and we'll say return missing keys if part equals 1. Otherwise, we'll continue forward. I like it a lot. And then I think what we need to do is we just need to do a check for each of these. So I can actually go in here and I can look at matches. And I can just look at like matches BYR. And I can say matches BYR is greater than 1920. I think that at least is supposed to be greater than or equal to, and at most 2002. And matches BYR is greater than 1920 and matches BYR is less than 2002. And maybe we can just return this. Like I can just build a super long validation check. I know there's a nicer way to do this, but let's see, at least 2010 and at most 2020. So we'd just say matches IYR. Let me minimize this so I can see it easier. Matches IYR. Let's see, we're expecting IYR to be greater than or equal to 2010 and matches IYR to be, do you know what's occurring to me? These are supposed to be strings, aren't they? They might be symbols, I'm not actually sure, but I think they're probably strings. Yeah. Oh, this is an array, isn't it? No, this is right. Oh, hang on. Right now we have, let's see. Yeah, right now we have a 2D array in passport keys. Yes. No, we have a 1D array. Passport keys, matches.map, and first. No, we have a 2D array. Let me see. Can I do like a Ruby 2D array to hash? Can I just transform 2D array data into hash? There's a method for this, right? I like how it's just like, you can just do and reverse. But can't I do 2H? How can I transform this into a hash with the key being the year and the value being the number in front? So I can just do 2H. Hang on a second here. Can I just call 28 on this? H on this? Let's see, because if that's the case, passport keys is even simpler. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add a binding.pry. And I'm going to do a passport keys. No, I'm gonna do matches.2h. And this is gonna be the new passport. Because I'm not gonna reference the old passport ever again. Let's see, and I want to RSpec, go button. And I want to run this on 101. It doesn't really matter which one, but okay, what is passport? That's perfect. That's perfect. And then I just need to remember to 2i stuff. And I think the other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to go up here and I'm gonna say passport equals matches to h. No, I'm just gonna straight up, you're gonna be converted to a hash when you come out of matches. No, we'll do it separately. Passport equals matches dot to underscore h. And this is gonna be passport dot keys, eliminate this. Eliminate this. Eliminate this. And then this is just going to be passport BYR, passport BYR, passport IYR, passport IYR. That looks reasonable. And you're supposed to be less than or equal to 2020. Save. Yay! Now why are you failing? These should be truthy right now. Comparison of string with 1920 failed. That's right. 2i, 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 2i. Ooh. Did that pass? That looks like it passed. It just isn't telling me. I'm gonna check though. RSpec. 10 examples, 0 failures. Perfect. That's exactly what I like to see. All right. Now that I've done IYR, time for expiration year, I know. But I'm getting old. Let's see, I think I can just copy this one because it looks like this is going to be another between. Isn't there a between method in Ruby? Between. Ruby. Between comparable, question mark. Yeah, dot between these two numbers. We're going to do that. That's way cleaner. That's way prettier. So we're going to do this, 2i dot between 1920 and 2020. Beautiful. Oh, attempting to reconnect. Oh dear, I just got disconnected. Well, maybe we try reloading the window. Okay, now that we've refreshed the window, it looks like it's back. This is failing because of this EYR. So let's fix that. Yes. Between 2020, or 2010 and 2020. Oh, that must be the issue year. What is happening? Okay, we've reloaded. I think we're connected. We've got a passport BYR and a passport IYR between these two values. That looks good. I can run the spec, everything passes. And I should now be able to just say, and expiration year. Let's see, we want between 2020 and 2030. Now I can remove that. I think the other thing that I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and make my context blocks for invalid passports. So I'm just going to copy this, hop down here, add a context, and we're going to say invalid passport 1. It is expected to be falsy. And if I hop over here, this is starting to feel very heavy, don't you think? Also, that should look like that. What if I did something like that? We get rid of the missing keys. We take this out and we say missing keys dot empty. Question mark. Or, you know, we'll call this missing keys because I'm going to reference it twice. Let's see. So we'll say missing keys dot empty or missing keys dot any. So if there are any missing keys, or if missing keys is empty, we return. Or no, wait, sorry, if the part is 1, or if there are any missing keys, we immediately return missing keys.empty, which is going to be true false for part 1, and for this one, it's only going to be false. And then what I can do is I can do the rest of these. Okay, back to invalid passports. I do not have ADD probably. Let's see, we're gonna copy this. This is missing passport number 1. Or invalid passport number 1. There we go, save it. It is expected to be falsy. I'm gonna copy this. We'll say this one is 2. This one is 3. And this one is 4. Because these all exist, I can hop right over here to Advent of Code and I can say, hey, this one's gonna be 2. Or I could jump and I could grab 4. I can go in whatever order I want. Let's see. Here we go. Control V, Control S. We're gonna copy this one, Control C. Oh, you know what? I've noticed that I have to restart the auto run every time this restarts, so maybe that's why it's not auto running. Control S. And then we'll, wow. Control C. We'll come down here and we'll say Control V. Save it. Perfect. So it is expected to be falsy for each of these. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna turn on auto run again. And then I'm gonna run all my specs. Beautiful. So these are all passing. These are all not. So all of these are being, wait, what? Hang on a second. This makes no sense. My valid passport should be passing. And my invalid one should be failing. What? Present. What? Undefined method for array. Did you mean? No, I meant any. What is this? Expected truthy value got falsy value. This is part 2. Valid passport. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drop this right in between these two and I'm gonna see if I hit it when I call this, because my immediate suspicion is that what's happening is I'm using this return missing keys empty. Nope, I am going to this. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So they're all returning false. Interesting. If I call this, it returns false. Are you between these two values? True. Are you between 2010 and 2020? True. True. And, oh, it's my issue year. Yep. Let me exit. So my problem here is that I'm using issue year, and that was actually supposed to be expiration year, which is EYR. Haha! Now if I save this, and I remove this binding.pry, and I save this again. What do we get? Yeah, all of the valids are passing, and one of the invalids is failing. Good. Wow, we really churned through those really quickly. Height should be a number followed by either centimeter or inch. So we're gonna say and passport HGT dot matches question mark. Is it dot matches or is it match? Well, we'll find out. Let's see. I want cm or inch, and I want /d plus. Yeah. Oh. Oh, never mind. This is more challenging than I thought. A number followed by either centimeter or inch. If centimeter, the number must be at least 150 and at most 163. So we're gonna come down here and we're gonna say def validate height. I'm not doing all that nonsense in one method. We're gonna say height, or in one like if statement. So the first thing we're gonna start with is this passport Only we don't need to do that. This is now height. We're gonna say and validate height passport HGT. We have a new method, which means that it is time to create a new spec. So for each method we have a describe block because this is an instance method, although it could be a class method because we're passing in all the values we need to compare against. We're gonna do that and we're gonna say validate height do end. Yep, that's supposed to stay in. This right here is gonna be our subject block. And we're just gonna say, I'm literally gonna swipe my subject from here, where it's new part blah 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 blah. And the part here is gonna be 2, even though it doesn't matter. Validate height, and you're going to be height. Beautiful. I'm sure there's a nicer way of doing this involving setting up validations and creating like a struct or an object or something like that. I'm not gonna do those though. I'm not gonna do this. I know how to do that with Rails very easily. I'm just gonna use like these and statements and stuff like that. Let's see. It is expected. Yeah, I want that is expected. To be truthy. Yep. Then we're gonna make our context, which is height without CM. And context height over, what is it? 193. And I think our first one is just gonna be context valid height. All right, and this valid height right here is gonna be let height, add some curlies, and we're gonna call this 151 centimeters. And that is my it is expected to be truthy. Let's see. Height without CM. These are both going to be falsy. Falsy. We're going to make your let height be something like, I don't know, 128. Somebody forgot the units. And height over 193 is going to be 194 cm. How'd you do? Undefined method matches. How about match? Yay! Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this whole thing to be passing all the way beginning to end. Instead of doing match, I think I'm going to do match, and then I'm going to make this a capture group, right? So this is going to be a capture group. We're going to call this thing, sorry, capture groups go in parentheses. And then what we're going to do at the beginning here is we're going to call this one unit. Yeah. Then we're gonna have another capture group here. And this one is going to be, I don't know, tall. That is a terrible name. Never use names like tall. I like it. That's funny. Okay. Matches. Yay. Return false unless hang on. Matches. Can I do something like I wonder if I can do this. I just want to play with this. Height, comma, tall, comma, unit. Ooh. Okay. So what if I do return unless tall.toI and an unit. Ooh, expected truthy. Value got nil. Oh. Well, I only have one valid height. Let's return true. Huh, expected truthy value. It looks like it's just returning false. Maybe this didn't work. Let me binding that pry and find out. Okay, so we're gonna pull up our RSpec. I want to test the valid one, so let's go to 148. Let's expand this out a little bit so we can see what's happening. I want to know what height is. I want to know what tall is. Nil. Beautiful. So that did not work. So let's call this match. That makes sense. It's not an array that it's returning. Let's do that. You know what? Tall, comma, unit equals match tall on 2i, comma, unit. Yay! Value got false. Expected truthy got false. Why? Rude. Binding that pry. I'll go ahead and pull this one up in advance. Let's run our passing one. What is tall? What is unit? Nil. What is height? 151 centimeters. What is... Oh, I didn't use the match. I feel like watching me program is just like watching someone stumble through all of the syntax mistakes that they've made. Okay. Tall. Unit. That's interesting. I didn't expect it to only be the C. I can work with that though. Yeah, I like this. Okay, remove this binding that pry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say return tall dot between, and what were our numbers? 150 and 193. 150, comma 193. If unit equals C. Otherwise, return tall dot between. What am I looking for here? 59 and 76. 59 and 76? Yes. Must be falsy. Height without CM. Undefined this for nil.nil class. Undefined what for nil.nil class? Let me go to binding.pry. And which one are you? You are 153. And what is match? Nil. Quit. Perfect. I no longer need this. Return false unless match. Go away. Oh, I can just remove this binding.pry, can't I? Yay! They all pass. All the ones that I care to check. Alright, so that's validate height. And what's the next one? Hair color. Great. So that's a valid hex. Alright, so let's do passport HCL dot match. I'm so glad I remembered regex. Otherwise this would be significantly harder. Let's see. And? Where's my and? Well, I don't need my and yet. Let's do this one first. Exactly 6 characters, 0 through 9. A through F. And we say 6. And we start it with a bound. Yes. Passport. I should have way more tests around all of this. Eye color. So if I take these, which are the eye colors, I go up here and I say eye color equals, and we'll do another one of these like word arrays. We'll do dot freeze, and we'll just say, hey, is our eye color inside of this list? So we do this dot include question mark passport. We have to use parentheses because we're going to add this and at the end, and we don't want the interpreter to get confused. So I don't need that space. Okay, passport eye color dot include. PID, a 9-digit number including leading zeros. That's easy. And passport PID dot match slash D9. Do all of our tests here pass? Okay, every single valid and every single invalid, and if I run the entire thing again, 17 examples, 0 failures. I haven't written tests around each of these conditions, but I'm gonna run it and find out what happens anyway, because this has been going for a while. All right, now I'm gonna copy this, paste it in here. It's gonna fail, but it's gonna tell me what the right answer is. Expected 216. And what did you get? 151. Hey. Okay. 151? That's not the right answer. Your answer is too high. Marvelous. So I guess what we need is an example for each of these. Let's see, valid passport 2, invalid passport 1, invalid passport 2, invalid passport 3. Validate height. Let's see, between these two numbers, unit equals C. Return false unless match. Excellent. Well, like I said, we know what we gotta do. What if I just got one of these wrong? Let's see, 1920, 2002. 2010 and 2020. 2020 and 2030. For this one, we just went for the validate height. HCL is hair color. 6 characters, 0 to 9 are A through F. feel like this is probably one of the ones that I'm gonna run into issues with the most. I wonder if I could just report which of these are valid and which of these are invalid. That wouldn't help me though, because I have no intention of going through 1100 lines. 6, eye color include, passport, ECL, hair color, eye color, PID, match this, ignored, missing, or not. It's another one of those valid, invalid passport ones. Alright, let's make some invalid passports. Because the problem we're having is that invalid passports are being passed as valid, right? So if we take a look at, my answer is too high. Maybe I should check this. PID valid, invalid? Alright. Let's see. Invalid PID. I'm gonna take a valid passport and change the PID so it's not valid. Which one do I want? I like this one best. Here we go. And these are invalid PIDs. PID. This. It is expected not to be falsy. Okay, and that one passed. Let's go to the next one. Invalid ECL. Alright. I can just copy this. Yeah, and then pop down here. Invalid. Eye color. But now I need a valid PID. I'm pretty sure I can just trim one number off of that and it'll be valid. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why isn't this true? Shouldn't this be true now? Hang on. If I go back to this, and I copy this, and I paste this in, why is this falsy? I took a valid passport. This one is truthy. And I put it in this. And I save it. And that fails. Huh. That was bizarre. This PID. Is this PID valid according to my code? Yes. Well, that was bizarre. Wait. Is expected to be falsy. Expected a falsy value got. Hey! What? Match data on this. Got match data on password. PID. Match. Digit. 9 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But that one's invalid? This one is invalid. What's the PID rule? A 9-digit number including leading zeros. A 9-digit number including leading zeros. And you returned a match data instead of a false. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be match question mark. What? Well, we found out what our error is. That's interesting. Okay, passport pid.match/digit 9. Let's binding that pry and let's look at this particular one. Save. Let's see. And we're looking at line 156. If I scroll through this, what is passport PID? That looks right. And what is passport PID match? Oh, this is the end of string thing again, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this is the end of string thing. So whenever I do regex, what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to do this and this. And that says beginning and end of the string. There should be only 9 digits. If I remove this binding.pry, and I save this, and I run this again. All examples are filtered out. Ooh, unexpected global variable. Is it like /a? Something like that? /a, what is end? Regex, Ruby, begin and end. /a matches the beginning of the string, /z matches the end of the string. Okay, so that's my problem, is I was trying to match for any 9 characters. I should have learned my lesson from last time. Yay is expected to be falsy. And at the top here, you have a different value. Expected 151. Got 150. Let me do this to this one really quick first. Just to make sure that that one's fine too. Because those are my only 2 regexes, right? Yeah. I could do the same thing with this one. Ooh. What'd you get? Got 0! Oh! Okay, so this CM is looking for 1. And if I change it to that, will it work? Got 0. CM. Let's see. Regex. I don't know. It's like a pipe character or. Yes. I like. Oh, it's parentheses. Yep, it's parentheses. Okay. So if I go in here. And I remove that. Leave the pipe. Remove that. Hey, it stays at 150. Very nice. Alright, so I was 1 off because of that end line thing that I always forget. Yay! That's it! Alright, I have a Discord channel where you can discuss Advent of Code. You can check out the Git repo that I use to store all this. There's a ton of links in the description below, as well as a leaderboard that you can join and compete with. This has been really fun. I like this. Alright, bye!